Jai Shri Krishna to all. Welcome to Path to Anandam Gita series. Freedom from pains and miseries to happy, healthy and peaceful life. Based upon 108 mantras to awaken your soul. And Srimad Bhagavad Gita. My question and God's answers. And today, our session series 66 is, should I worship form or formless God? And pranam to Harihar Ji Maharaj, Guru Ji, for his blessings. And whatever you see on this page, all his blessings. I'm Satya Kalra, your host and founder of Path to Anandam. And thank you, all of you, for joining this morning to this blissful journey of self-transformation, self-purification, and self-realization. Who am I? And God realization. Thank you. So today's session, we are starting chapter 12 and cover the verse 1 to 5, where again, the title is very similar, but little bit changed. God's personal manifested versus impersonal unmanifested form. And what are those? Manifested forms, saguna, unmanifested form, nirguna. Which one is for me? Benefits, practice and homework. And what is my sankalpa is going to be this week? To practice. I know my path. I have full faith in God. Meditation and question and answers. So let's all pray to Lord Krishna as Arjuna. We are the Arjuna of today, because Arjuna prayed to Lord Krishna when he got very discouraged, confused, and went into Vishad. And with Lord Krishna's company, his Vishad turned into Vishad Yoga, where he learned who he was through the blissful journey by the company of Lord Krishna, Bhagwan Krishna. And at the beginning, he said, Na jotasyati Govinda. And after listening to Lord Krishna's blissful message of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, he said, Karishe vachanam tav, I will do as you advise. So whatever the difficulties we have, challenges we have, confusion we have, worries we have, let's humbly request to Lord Krishna to guide us by surrendering. So let's all surrender to him together. Karpanye dosho pahat svabhava paschyami tvam dharma samud cheta yachyasyani nishchitam bruhitan me Shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapanyam. Shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapanyam. My heart is overpowered by the weakness of pity, I have lost all my composure, and my mind is confused about my duty, dharma. I am requesting you, please tell me what is definitely good for me, not what am I asking, what is good for me. Because I am your disciple, I surrender to you. Please advise. And then Lord Krishna, with his mercy, with his grace, as his company, he blessed him with the message, the infinite wisdom. And he took him step by step on that path, on that journey. And what is Bhagavad Gita? It teaches us as well how to live in love and devotion with faith and experience the presence of God in our lives by attaining eternal happiness, peace, anandam, while living in this material world, this Maya illusion, and know the purpose of life and realize God and self-realization. Realize my true nature. I am Satchit Ananda. And this is all based on Swami Hariharji Maharaj's quotations, messages, which I summarize it here. So Gita is a journey from sorrow to supreme bliss. And how? Through love and devotion. And we have been on this journey together, where Lord Krishna gives 574 verses out of 700 total verses in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, which has been further put together in 18 yogas, 18 chapters, 18 paths to experience the presence of God in our life, which has been further summarized in 3 yogas, 3 main yogas: Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, where Karma Yoga, how to perform our action, which turns into not just a karma, it does not stay as a karma, but it turns into dharma. Benefit for all, not just for us. So those Karma Yoga, 1 to 6 chapters, Lord Krishna explains Arjuna how to do his action, because he could not understand the concept of Atma, that he's a Atma, he's not a body, body is temporary. Because Arjuna was Kshatriya, so to Kshatriya, Lord Krishna taught him in the same language which he understood, Karma Yoga. But Karma Yoga cannot be done without the bhakti, without the devotion, like action with love and compassion for benefit of all, without any expectation. So he takes him to the next path, Bhakti Yoga, which is chapter 7 to 12. And we have talked about the concept of whole Bhakti Yoga, Lord Krishna, until now, explaining to Arjuna, who is he? Who is God? Who is he? He's Sarvam. He's the Iti, Sarvam Iti. So, how to experience? And he tried to explain him, the more you know about me, the more you will come closer to me, the more you will develop the faith. So he says, but people who totally know me, understand me, they are the one who finally experience me, attain me. So in chapter 12, it starts Bhakti Yoga, which is the heart of Bhagavad Gita. But before we get into that, we just want to go over about this very important chapter, Yoga, Vishwarup, where Lord Krishna shows Arjuna the Vishwarup of his, because Arjuna prayed to him that please show me you are that form which you have been explaining to me until now. I want to really see your form. And with his grace, he gives him the divine vision, because his divine grace, his universal form, cannot be seen with these physical eyes, because physical eyes see whatever is illusion, whatever is temporary, whatever is destructible, never lasting. So he says, but you cannot see that, because he was showing him his transcendental form, that form which many people cannot see it. And he explains to him that you are dear to me. That's what I'm showing you, because this form cannot be seen just by action, just by giving charity, just by talking about me. You have to really go within to get vision of my divine form, my universal form with your transcendental eyes. So here the main message is here, where at the end of the chapter, Lord Krishna explains him everything. Arjuna gets very scared of seeing that form. And then he prays to him to show me your original form. And here, Lord Krishna summarizes it, that Vasudev Sarvam Iti, God is all. But how you can experience it? Mat karma krat, mat parma bhakta, sanga vivarjita, nirver sarva bhuteshu yasa mameti pandava. So how you attain me? Your prerequisitions is to attain God. And how beautifully he explains and summarizes, one who makes me the supreme goal of life, where we talked about in every session. Perform all of his action for me, selfless seva. Whatever you do, you just offer everything to me. You're not doing it for you, yourself. You are offering to me to manage this prakriti, this nature, which is a part of me, which I have created. So whatever you do it for the best of the others, for this my nature, my mother nature, prakriti. Here it fully devoted to me, mad bhakta, live in my consciousness, always live in, here it says, mat karma krat, everything for me, mat parma bhakto, sanga vivarjita, so no attachment, no kam, krodh, lo, mohankar, and free from enmities toward all beings, friendly to all. Here it comes where he says, nirver sarva bhuteshu. The question comes, living in this world, how is it possible that we are not upset with someone? We are not feeling bad about someone or certain situations? Because when we saw this transcendental form, we also saw how he was explaining to him that you think you are the doer here? No, I am the doer. And he shows him in this form that how everybody in this war who about to die, like his loved ones, Kauravas, many other people, how he was engulfing all of those, because he explains that I am the Kal, I am the Mrityu, I am the one who dissolves this complete universe at one time based on their karmas. So similarly, when we think that we are going to do God's darshan or experience him, we expect that it will be more love, peace, good people will come in our life. All the saints, seers, they will come in our life because it is a blessing of God. Of course it is. We are blessed when we get that. We are blessed that we are together this morning for the session. However, he also shows that how other people are dying and going into his mouth. In other words, along with the good situations, anything and everything happens in this universe is all his Leela. Whether we like it or we don't, he comes in the form of tornado of COVID, in the form of diseases, in the form of death. So he comes in many, many different forms, though we don't like it, but that's his form. So the message here is, whatever happens in this universe, we must just consider that is his way of showing his transcendental form to us, his Leela to us, rather than becoming fearful like Arjuna. Arjuna became fearful. And of course, we get fearful too when disasters happen. Certain times we start choking, we can't even, our mind totally gets blocked because certain situations are so devastating. And we all have that experience. But that's what he means. Nirver sarva bhuteshu ya mameti pandava. Once you qualified with this, then you will attain me, once you come to that equanimity. So God can only be realized by undivided devotion. Now here it is mad bhakta. But how to do that bhakti? And that's where the chapter 12 comes. I call it, that's the 12th grade, final year of the high school. Union with God, self-realization through the path of love and devotion, where you can see it. This page comes at the beginning of chapter 12 in my Question and God's book. And it's all by developing the devotion, little by little, our heart, our devotion, our love and compassion becomes so big that we totally merge with his ultimate form, love, peace, and anandam. Satchit Anand. So Bhakti Yoga, which is the heart of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 12, Hariharji Maharaj always said, this is the heart of Gita. Put it in your heart and see the magic of it. So the path of love and devotion, this is the yoga which builds the relationship with God and also his people through love and selfless service. And what are the ingredients of Bhakti Yoga? Selfless love and devotion with seva and faith. So Arjuna, after seeing his divine form, transcendental form, universal form, that Vishwa Savrupa Darshan, he asked the question, tell me, who is the best yogi? Who is the best devotee? Should I worship your Saguna form or Nirguna form? Here he says, Evam Sattat Yukta ye bhaktastvam parupasate ye chape akshram avyaktam tesham ke yoga vittamaha. So Arjuna said, which devotee are better? Verses in yoga, are they united with you? Those who worship you, your manifested form, which we call it our personal God. Here are the manifested forms of Lord Krishna, God, Vishnu. This is whether you see them in the Durga form, Lakshmi form, Devi form, any Hanumanji form, Shivji, Shankar, Ganeshi, whatever form you see Lord Krishna is also a form of Vishnu, that Param Shakti, Brahman Roop. So here he says, with ever steadfast devotion for the imperishable and unmanifested formless God, Nirguna. So here is the Brahman form. It's a formless, so we cannot see it. But all this are Rama, Krishna, all these forms are the manifested form, which these unmanifested forms are also represented in these symbols, where God, Om, for example, God without body, without form is Om, and every other path have their own symbol to represent. So then Lord Krishna gives him the answer. He explains that who is the best yogi, who you should worship. Manifested God with faith. That's what he's telling him. Because Arjuna asked him, should I worship? You showed me two forms now. You are Vishvarupa, which is the Nirakar Rupa, non-duality Rupa. And then also you are standing in front of me now with the Sakar Rupa. Who should I worship? Who should I pray to? And Lord Krishna explains him here. Maya Veshya Manoye Mam Nitya Yukta Upasate Shraddha Paropetas Teme Yukta Tamamata. I highlighted here Shraddha, because he says the best yogis, devotees are those who contemplate on me every moment and worship me with faith. Saguna as Meera. See, Meera always lived in his consciousness, Krishna consciousness. And she always worshipped his Saguna Roop. Krishna ji ki murti har samay apne haath mein rakhti thi, sab jagah jati thi. Every time she held Krishna's murti in her hand. Similarly, if you go to Vrindavan, you see so many people there having this Krishna Bhagwanji's murti in their hands. Or sometimes, they have it like a little backpack kind of thing, little jula, they put it on their back, and then they have a Krishna Bhagwanji's baby, that Bal Krishna's murti right over there, the little Bal Krishna, decorated with mukut and all the clothes and all the jewelry and all that. They're all, Vrindavan is all about Saguna, worshipping, going to temples and just having the murtis. But he says, one who lives in God's consciousness, just like Meera, is the best yogi. And then he also says, worship God's Saguna form. Why it is easier? Because he said this is the most easiest form, most expeditious form, method to attain God. Why? Because it's a loving relationship, like with baby Krishna. The people adore him like a baby, like their own child. So they have a love and devotion relationship with him. And it's easy to relate with the form. When you sit in front of any forms of God, then you can relate to them. Where with the transcendental form you can't, because it's just abstract. This is a subject where you can see it. You can do the rituals, you can offer flower, tulsi, jyoti, light the light there, and everything you do in this world, because his mother is his nature, his prakriti. You try to do your best to please him. And then what we expect? We do expect his grace. We want to see his Vishwarup. We want Bhagwan ji humko darshan denge. So we are looking for that grace. And the good example is ISKCON. Is they always are living in God's consciousness, doing everything. They are subah utke, they will give the bath to Lord Krishna, then change his clothes, and then do all the decoration, then offer him the prasad, and all that puja part they do because they are totally into saguna form. Now, Lord Krishna explains further that my nirguna form. And what is that nirguna form? Why it is so difficult worshipping? Because there are actually three ways to worship God. One is the saguna form, one is the nirguna form, which we are talking, and one is in between. So here the nirguna form, the unmanifested form, Bhagavan Krishna says, Yetvar aksham nirdeshyam avyaktam parupasate sarvatragam chintyam cha kutastham achalam dhruvam sanniyam ye indriye gramam sarvatra sambuddhaya te prapnuvanti mamev sarvabhutite rata. So then Lord Krishna further says, before he says saguna form, worship saguna form because it's easier. But here he says, but those who worship the formless aspect of the absolute truth, the transcendental form, the imperishable form, indefinable form, unmanifested form. These are all the different names, different vocabularies, but it's all meaning the same, formless God. The all-pervading, the unthinkable, and what he says, what is it? He's giving the characteristics that it's all-pervading. It's Vasudev Sarvamiti, the unthinkable, the unchangeable. It's permanent, eternal. It is eternal, and the immovable. By restraining theirs, but how you experience that? Here it shows that God is the creator, he's the love, he's the supreme power, he's the sun, he's the moon, he's just a beautiful way of showing also. Here it will also shows Father, Holy Father, everything you think in this universe, he is all. Vasudev Sarvam Iti. So, but then how would you experience him? He says, Sanniyam Indriya Gramam, by restraining their senses and being even-minded, Sarvatra Sambuddhaya, everywhere. Such person engaged in welfare of all, Sarvabhutite rata, te prapnuvanti mamev, that person can also attain me. So now he's saying that even if you meditate on these symbols, you will, all these difficulties in the mind we have, all this calm, krodh, lo, moh, ankar, our previous sanskaras, whatever we are holding in our subconscious mind will wash away. And here he gives you the example of 5 senses. All the senses are here. Our mind, our eyes, our ears, our mouth, our nose, everything he's talking about, whatever you smell, whatever you eat, whatever you think, whatever you see, you should all see good, good, good. Those 5 monkeys of, 3 monkeys of Gandhiji, but I put 5 monkeys. So all these you experiencing, making best use of our senses. Then he says, those people can attain me. So why it is difficult? Because we all know that here is further explains difficulty in worshipping his unmanifested form, Nirguna. Why? He says, Kalesho hi dikrastesham, avyakta sakta chetasam, avyakta hi gatir dukham, devad birvyapte. The path of focusing the mind on the formless is full of obstacles. See, I showed that mind is filled with full of obstacles, full of previous sanskaras is slow and very difficult to comprehend. It needs a lot of self-disciplining. In chapter 6, the whole in meditations, Dhyan Yoga session, he explains so well that how difficult it is to control the mind and control the senses. And that's where Arjuna even asked him the question there. Mind is so chanchala and you are asking me to control the mind, discipline the mind, discipline my senses. They're so difficult. And Lord Krishna says, yes, but with practice you can do it. So he says it is extremely difficult. He acknowledges again. He tells Arjuna, don't worry about it. It is very difficult path to attain God or self-realization for all for us, Jeev Atmas, embodied beings. But we also learned previously in chapter 7, verse 21, he says, yo yam tanu bhakta shraddha chintu michhati tasya chalam shraddha. See again, shraddha tamev vidyama aham. Shri Krishna assures Arjuna again to all of us that whatever celestial form you are attracted, which resonates with you, or whatever your faith is, if your faith is in Ma, your faith is in Hanumanji, your faith is in Shivji, Ram, Guru Nanak Ji, whoever your faith is, he says, don't worry about it, because I will enrich your faith in that particular form. So he says, it's okay. Both are okay. So if both are okay, then question comes, which one should I worship? Or can I worship God in both forms, perishable and non-perishable? Because the people who do meditation, they can experience him in the transcendental form, where you can see these mantras, these symbols are the non-manifested form. So the meditation is a meditation and chakras alignments and are the most important part of this process. So that's where he asked also, the question comes to me many times. We talk about Bhakti Yoga, Saguna form. We have all these forms in our temple. Can I go beyond it? And Lord Krishna answers. He says, attaining God through his manifested form is easier, but depends on your spiritual stage, whether you are in the beginning. Then in the beginning, we need the Saguna form, his form. We could relate to it. Then the middle form, sometimes we meditate. So sometimes we are experiencing his transcendental form, but sometimes we are disturbed, we are disoriented, we are disconnected. We go back to his original form, because at that time, our conscious level is so low, like we go back to kindergarten. Like I sometimes feel like totally I'm thrown back to ground zero again. I have to start all over again. But with his blessing, with his practices, we do come. But at that time, holding to the divine form is very important. The Saguna form really helps. And then advance, where you are beyond that. We are beyond that. So, and personality, okay? So depending on your spiritual stages of where you are and your personality, what you resonate. Are you very active type of person? Very karma yogi type of person? Very emotional person? Because love and compassion, it's all oriented to heart, and it's all emotional. That love which has no expectations. It's not like a business which we do with people, that, okay, I love you, so you're supposed to love me. God, I love you, So give me this, give me this, give me this. No, you just love for love's sake, devotion's sake. It's the selfless love. So the answer is yes, you can mix and match or choose as you like. Saguna path or Nirguna path, meditation path, all is okay. So there is no reason to criticize that one is better than other. The Saguna form takes us to Nirguna form. And very good example is Ramakrishna. He used to be Kali's devotee. But when the one guru came in his life, that his name was Totaram. And Totaram explained him that you have been doing about Kali, why don't you, and then why don't you just go to next level? And then Ramakrishna asked him, guide me, how should I do it? And he says, you have to go beyond Kali. And he says, I have to ask my mother Kali whether I can go on the path of meditation or not. And he says, no, you have to go beyond Mother Kali. And he couldn't do it because he was so much embedded with the Saguna form of Ma Kali. Then Totaram, what he does, he hits him so hard over here on his head. In fact, he cuts his, give him a pain, he cuts him, make a cut on his forehead. So with pain, he might focus on that. But he was beyond that. He still could see the Kali. Then Totaram said, okay, now you have to take the sword and go and kill the Mother Kali, remove the Mother Kali. And he said, where would I get the sword? He says, wherever your mind is focusing on Mother Kali, if you can manifest her, you can manifest the sword, take it. And when he did that, he removed Mother Kali with sword. And then he was in meditation continuously for 72 hours. And Totaram was watching him and said, oh my God, I cannot even do that, what he's doing. So he finally pulled him out. And when he comes out and he says, tell me about your experience. And he says, I can't explain. I was so much beyond the body consciousness and mind consciousness. I was totally united with the supreme power. And then Totaram, who was his guru, became his disciple because Ramakrishna now was beyond his level. So Ramakrishna finally totally merged into supreme power with Nirguna form, with meditation. So that is the power of meditation. So now, how to practice this? Satya Sai Baba gives a very simple formula. Start your day with love, spend your day with love, and end your day with love. So in the morning, again, have a good thoughts of love and devotion with the loving thoughts, thanking God, 108 mantras, whatever our schedule is. This is the 30 days planner. But our day, our morning should start with love and devotion. And then during the day, live 100% in God's consciousness, whether we live in the Saguna form or whether we live in the Nirguna form. And then practice, practice, practice. Align our body, mind, and soul together with yoga, pranayama, and meditation, whatever time it allows us. And during the day, all the time, just again, during the day, spend your day with love. So God is all. Just to be witness and observe his Leela. Whatever comes to us, good or bad, it's all his Leela. Because God is all, Vasudev Sarvamiti. And then evaluate our day. How did I do it? Did I develop, enrich myself with more love and compassion, more bhava of seva, more bhava of faith, So is my faith growing? This is what we evaluate. And then do our best and meditate on God and let go. And then we experience His presence. Sarva dharma paritajye mamekam sharanam braj. Aham tvam sarpabebhyo mokshashyami ma shuchi. Just go to His lap. Go give everything, surrender to Him and give everything, because He promises us that you do everything, whatever you can do, with love and compassion, with faith, with seva bhav, and I will take care of the rest of you. And then we don't have to worry about this birth and death, because He's going to take care of us. And finally, we will merge with Him and experience Satchit Anand. So the time of homework, whatever we discuss about the practice, this is the one thing we have to do. Swadhyaya Abhyasam, focusing on myself. How can I improve? What else I need to improve? So live in awareness. What am I doing? And see His presence, omnipotent. He is everywhere. See His Leela, His magics, and see His presence everywhere. But we have to make sure we continue to remind ourselves for the goal of life, that our goal is self-realization. Live in His consciousness, live in love and compassion. All these questions, am I living in that? Do I have full faith? Do I have any attachment? Am I free from all this nirvair, malicious toward all beings or all situations? And am I friendly to all? This is the homework we should ask this question. And then our sankalpa is live in love and compassion, consciousness. I have full faith in God. And once we do that, then what happens? We experience ultimately the fruits of our seeds which we have sowed, and experience happiness, healthy and peaceful life, and Satchit Anand. So the sankalpa is very, very important. Our sankalpa, kamasya tattva, not just for the worldly desires, but for experiencing the divinity and ultimately reaching to Param Dham. So by little, shanai shanai uppar mein, we will reach there. We have to have a patience. That's the only thing we need to do here. So thank you very much for attending. Should I worship manifested form or unmanifested form? And experiencing ultimate freedom from pains and miseries, from sorrows, to happy, healthy, and peaceful life. So thank you very much for attending.